people I've ever met. He is a brilliant man, and we'd like to have him on. We don't have him on often enough. His name is Trent Franks, member of the United States Congress, here from the state of Arizona. And when the president made his announcement about the North Koreans being added to the terror watch list, I thought about reaching out to Congressman Franks to get his take on this, what it means for us, and what it means moving forward with the North Korean regime. So, Congressman, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Mike, thank you. You know, you say awfully nice things, brother. And I just want you to know that it's kind of a right back at you thing, to say the least. I just appreciate your heart. I appreciate just the unspeakable sacrifice that your family has made on behalf of human freedom. Just tell you, your brother would be so proud of you, he wouldn't know what to say to you.
He would be shocked, is what he would be, Congressman. Let's talk about the North Korean situation. The president makes the announcement yesterday, and through the Secretary of State, saying this is largely symbolic, but it does close some loopholes, and it does add some teeth to some of the already tough sanctions. So what happens next, or what does this mean?
Well, I mean, I so applaud the president for the direction that he's taking here. It's so much different than what we've seen prior, and it gives me some hope, because I suggest to you that the North Korean situation is very serious, as much for the fact that it can escalate into a broader conflict as anything. But just if you just consider North Korea by themselves, the artillery capability, the germ warfare capability, their chemical warfare capability, and of course, most of all, their nuclear capability to obliterate South Korea, Japan, places that are right close, that are easily reachable. And now they have the missile capability to reach the United States. And if they were to try to hit us with an EMP, like they themselves said that they might do, in other words, they were the ones that threatened a major EMP attack. They don't need a reentry vehicle. They don't need really much more than what they have right now. So the threat is very real, and the president is wise to isolate them in every way that he can in the eyes of the world. And this designation as a terrorist state, I think, is a very, very important step. And as you say, it has some automatic elements in terms of the sanctioning. It really brings about one of the strongest sanctioning protocols that we can possibly come up with in America. But I would say to you that I think that one of the other things the president is and be doing is to make it clear to China and to Russia that you can trade with North Korea or you can trade with the United States. Those are strong words. It has significant economic implications for the United States, but it has to be done. That is the one hope that we have to be able to perhaps get out of this without some sort of a shooting war.
You know, the president seemed to have made some great strides in his trip to China, both economically with the trade deals that he was negotiating and trying to balance the trade there with them, but also in his conversations, because after the meeting with the Chinese, they sent an envoy into North Korea, and it seems as if they have changed their tone diplomatically. They are now putting out joint statements with us denouncing and demanding that the North Koreans just get rid of their nuclear capabilities or their program. Is there been a true change in the Chinese in your mind, that they are actually starting to turn the tables and be on our side when it comes to the North Koreans?
Well, I'm just going to tell you directly, I don't think China has changed. I think that they like the idea of North Korea being a bulldog, kind of attack dog for them. But I think that they have now recalculated a little bit. I don't think their intent has changed, but I think they've made a new calculation in that they're saying, you know what, this guy Trump, he's not going to do like everybody else does. They're not going to be able to bluff him or coerce him into giving North Korea millions and millions of dollars in American aid and to try to buy him off again. No, he is hell-bent on making sure that nuclear capability is dismantled. And that means that he is going to do whatever it takes, and that has implications for China. And they realize that now they are in a bad spot because this guy is a different cowboy in the White House. And so I think that China is doing essentially what they think is good for themselves, but it is good for them. If we have some sort of real terrible exchange with North Korea, it has significant implications for China, for its government and its people. And so I'm not sure their intent has changed, but certainly their perception of the different guy in the White House has changed, and I hope that will be enough to get them to come on and help us dismantle the nuclear capability in North Korea and to get rid of this hellish little regime that is threatening the world.
Would you, in your mind, what you know about North Korea, how close are they, or have they achieved the ability to attach a nuclear warhead to one of these ICBMs?
You're getting into a classified area, so here's what I will say to you. I believe that North Korea has the ability to hit the United States as we speak with a nuclear capability.
Okay.
And that's something that the head of the MDA, the Missile Defense Agency, Admiral Searing, has said, we have to now assume that they can do that, because they certainly have the missile capability, and they have the warhead capability, and it doesn't have to be too reliable. In other words, sometimes we sort of parse terms here a little bit, sometimes deliberately, sometimes inadvertently, where we say, well, they have that ability, but, do we mean a reliable, get it right every time ability? No, but you really don't need to get it right every time with a nuclear capability. If they can detonate a warhead high in the ionosphere, maybe 70 kilometers up, of the kind of size that they've demonstrated that they have, a 250 kiloton warhead or more, this is a serious, serious threat to the United States, and we cannot let it continue to develop. And Mr. Obama gave them missile technology capability. He gave them the ability to develop their missile technology under a deal where we really bolstered their economy for a significant period of time. And if you go back further, Bill Clinton was the one really that negotiated a deal that allowed them to develop a nuclear weapons capability. So we've got to change the trajectory, and I think this White House is doing that.
Well, as always, Congressman, it's good to catch up with you, and I hope when you're in Arizona you'll come in and spend maybe 30 minutes in the studio with us. We'd love to hear about what's going on in Washington on a multitude of issues, but I know your expertise in this area, and I always appreciate you putting it on the show.
Well, God bless you, sir, and I'd love to do it. Thank you for all you do for the state and the country.
You too, sir. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That is Congressman Trent Frank spending just a few minutes with us. He's one of the foremost experts on North Korea, and you heard him say it. He believes they have the capability, and we must do everything we can to stop it from happening.